For animals, the process of wooing a mate comes at times with great personal risk. Could you imagine what it would be like if we'd had to date like mice or pandas? If you find candle-lit dinners a bit stressful, wait till you hear this. While these courtship behaviors may seem strange and even risky to us, they serve their purpose quite well in the animal world. Let's try to imagine what it would be like if we'd have to act as giant pandas, for example. Well, for starters, we'd find it quite difficult to mate. In a world where humans date like pandas, the ladies have only a short reproductive window, once per year in the spring, and only for a couple of days tops. That would cause quite the competition. To win a lady's affection, you'd have to probably fight a younger contender while she's high up in a building, totally giving Rapunzel vibes. You'd then have to engage in an intense standoff. If you're out of luck, the woman might not even be interested in entering a relationship after the fight. When leaving the building, she'd just send you packing. Both contenders, ambitious as they are, would seek to court her for weeks after that, exchanging heated words in a remarkably tenacious manner. Eventually, the other suitor would admit defeat, and the lady would finally become interested in you. This long-standing rivalry, coupled with the lady's reluctance, might actually be what sparks the female interest. Imagine if we had to fend off any potential rivals every time we wanted to ask someone out. We'd certainly be spending more time at the gym staying in shape, that's for sure. But what if you had to build an entire castle before a romantic rendezvous? With your bare hands, no less. And what if the castle had to be both aesthetically pleasing and provide safe housing for your partner and your offspring? Well, that's what you'd have to do if you date like the pufferfish. Whenever you'd have love on your mind, you'd have to get busy building sandcastles. You'd have to use your hands vigorously, shaping the sand and creating these beautiful ridges and valleys. It's not a game, trust me. If done properly, it should take you a good 7 to 9 days to perfect your masterpiece. Your dream house should be pretty enough to be noticed, but also strong enough to fend off burglars. Then, if you're lucky, a nice lady would take notice and get interested, then join in on the fun. Soon enough, she'd make a home out of this incredible nest. Now imagine you had to be an amazing singer before you could ask someone out for a cup of coffee. Should you ever find yourself in such a situation, you can ask the mighty mouse for advice. If we get romantic like mice do, we'd need a special trick up our sleeves. Or rather, our vocal cords. We would need to produce unique, high-pitched songs. Those that mice make are beyond the range of human hearing. But we'd figure something out, I guess. We'd eventually create a melodious atmosphere to win over our potential partners. We'd also need to use a different tone of voice. These noises would need to be quite distinct from our regular chit-chat. Talented as we'd be, it wouldn't make it any less difficult. In a mice-like scenario, our love interests wouldn't be that easily impressed. They would have their own preferences when it comes to serenades. According to an earlier study, lady mice actually favor songs that are distinct from those sung by their relatives. Never thought a lady mouse would be impressed by novelty, but here we are. Guess we have that in common with these rodents. If one of your partners ever compares you to an anglerfish, no, it's definitely not a compliment. Let's just say these creatures are the poster boys for clingy boyfriends. That's because, when it comes to mating, you'd have to go all in. Gentlemen would literally have to bite into the female and stick to her like glue. They'd become literal parasites, living off the female body, which surprisingly is larger. At one point, males literally get absorbed into the ladies. The world of an octopus is already pretty mysterious, so it's no wonder their mating rituals are just as unique. Sure, all of us have this protective instinct when it comes to the people we care about. But if you were to act like a particular species of octopus, you'd have to take it to a whole other level. You'd literally have to become a bodyguard. You'd have set up shop right next to your crush in your own little dens. That's because you'd want to make sure no one else get close. It gets even more intriguing. Imagine what it would be like if you would have to disguise yourself to meet up with your beloved, who might not even like you that much to begin with. Well, some sneakier octopuses have a similar approach. So, what's the strategy? Well, you'd have to disguise yourself as female to fool the other males. You'd have to change your appearance and coloration to blend in and pass by the guards unnoticed. Why go to such lengths? It's not just about avoiding the danger. Octopuses are known for being pretty antisocial creatures. You'd have to act like that simply to avoid getting injured by the females themselves. Now let's turn our attention to the Bowerbirds, little architectural geniuses from Northern Australia. Acting like them means you'd really have to put on a show to impress. The way you dance or your flashy outfit won't suffice. In fact, you'd have to build a structure called a bower. But that's not all. You'd also have to decorate it with all sorts of objects like bones, man-made items, and stones. Think of it as your own personal art gallery, right in the middle of the forest. Each time a potential partner would pass by, you'd have to position yourself by the exit of the bower's court. And here's where the magic happens. You'd start by presenting your wonderful collection of colorful objects. But here's the clever trick. Even the way you'd arrange those objects is important because it needs to create an illusion of size. When putting together the romantic abode, you'd need to strategically place the larger objects farther away from the bower. So, from the partner's perspective, you'd appear bigger and more impressive than you actually are. It's like a clever trick to make yourself stand out from the competition. Nursery web spiders take being prepared for a date to a whole other level. Want to follow their example? You need to bring gifts. You'd approach a partner with presents of various sorts, which you'd offer before seeking to form a deeper relationship. Now, scientists have studied this behavior. It was once thought to be a thoughtful display of commitment. It would be a way to show your potential mate you'd make an exceptional parent, caring and well-prepared. Well, scientists now think it's designed to ensure personal safety. That's because nursery web spider ladies don't mind munching on their potential date every now and then. Now, let's say you enjoy exploration. Then, an albatross mating pattern is the way to go. That's because they are wandering creatures who can spend years traveling across the world without ever settling in one place. But when you'd return to your hometown, you'd always come back to your lifelong partner. As a pair, you'd welcome each other with an elaborate ritual of exchanging vows and rings. You know when sometimes people call each other lovebirds? In reality, that's a real species of tiny parrots, and they are just as affectionate as they sound. A romance like theirs means you and your partner would be inseparable, like high school sweethearts, always grooming each other and chatting away. Together, you'd craft complex homes and even share your food. Your love would resemble that of the feathery love bugs, which stick together for the long haul. Also, breaking up would be a complete tragedy. As with lovebirds, it would be best not to split you and your beloved apart. Research has shown that lovebirds could literally pass away from heartbreak.
That's it for today. So hey, if you pacified your curiosity, then give the video a like and share it with your friends. Or if you want more, just click on these videos and stay on the bright side.